Judge shelves Nikola's $2 billion patent lawsuit against Tesla. Nikola has until October 6th to change the judge's mind. Now, I didn't know that Nikola had a lawsuit against Tesla, so this is kind of new to me. I thought it was vice versa. I thought Tesla was suing them for stealing some of their ideas. Let me brush up on this. A federal judge has administratively closed a $2 billion patent infringement lawsuit hydrogen trucking startup Nikola filed against Tesla in 2018, essentially pulling it off the Northern District Court of California's docket because the two companies stopped responding. Nikola has until October 6th to show cause as to why the case should continue. Otherwise, the case of Nikola v. Tesla will be dismissed. Nikola has dropped the ball, and this 2018 action is languishing without explanation or apparent good cause. Judge James Donato wrote in an order to show... What the fuck was that? Wrote in an order to show cause published this week. Consequently, the case is administratively closed. Nikola is ordered to show cause in writing by October 6, 2021, while the case should not be dismissed for failure to prosecute. Both Nikola and Tesla have apparently stopped responding to some of the court's requests over the last few months. On July 7, 2021, the court asked the parties to schedule new tutorial and claim construction hearing dates. Neither side responded, Donato wrote. On September 2, 2021, the court vacated further proceedings on claim construction for the lack of response. As of the date of this order, neither party has advised the court of proposed new hearing dates. So they're just like saying, fuck it, like both sides. Both sides are like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't really matter. In the original complaint filed March 2018, Nikola accused Tesla of infringing on patents the startup had filed for its hydrogen-powered big rig. Nikola tried to make the case that Tesla's own Tesla Semi was, or semi. Semi. That's like Demi Moore. Semi Moore. Tesla's own Semi was using the same wraparound windshield, mid-entry doors, and aerodynamic fuselage, among other details. The startup also alleged that a Tesla recruiter had tried to poach Nikola's chief engineer, and claimed this was evidence Tesla was interested in Nikola's designs. By allegedly stealing the design, Nikola said Tesla was causing, quote, confusion in the market and letting the infringement... Really? Like a company called Nikola is accusing a company called Tesla of causing confusion in the market. Really? That's the tact you're going with. Nikola. Not Tesla. Not EV company Tesla, but EV company Nikola. Tesla's the one that's causing confusion in the market. And letting the infringement continue would cost the startup more than $2 billion in sales. Tesla said at the time it was a quote patently obvious there was no merit to the lawsuit. The two companies have spent much of the last 3 years arguing over which specific patents would make it to trial. At one point last year, Tesla tried to argue that Nikola stole the design for its own truck from Croatian hypercar company Rimac. Is this another one? What's Rimac? Ah, another creepy logo. Rimac Automobili is a Croatian car manufacturer in Sveta Nadela, I butchered that for certain, Croatia, that develops and produces electric sports cars, drivetrains, and battery systems. The company was founded in 2009 by Mate Rimac. I'm pronouncing these all wrong. Rimac Automobili's first model, the Concept 1, was the world's fastest production electric vehicle. While manufacturing and marketing high-performance vehicles under its own brand, Rimac also develops and produces battery packs, drivetrains, and electronic vehicles. During the 88th Geneva International Motor Show in March 2018, the company revealed a second model, the Rimac Navara. Okay, so... they are an EV company. What? They're owned by Porsche? Camel? The cigarette company? No, Chinese battery recycling. Okay. And Hyundai. Hyundai owns 12%. Alright, so... owned by Porsche and Hyundai. That's a weird ownership alliance. I'm not seeing anything SEC related just at a glance, so... I think these guys are pretty solid too. I mean, they're... owned by Porsche and Hyundai. If ever you needed some semblance of stability in your auto manufacturing world, you know, being co-owned by Porsche and Hyundai is a pretty good start. Correction. Trevor Milton is no longer in federal custody, as this story erroneously stated. He was released on a $100 million bond secured against two of his homes in July. We regret the error. God damn, dude. $100 million bail. You know, I have a lot of criticisms about whether or not this country does a pretty good job of going after wealthy, white-collar criminals and whatnot. And for the most part, I think my criticisms are valid, but maybe my criticisms might be a little on the extreme side. Like, it seems like they're going after these EV people pretty ferociously. Polestar. Okay, in one of my videos, I erroneously referred to Polestar as Polaris. I was thinking of Polestar when I was thinking of other EV companies that I knew of. Electric car company Polestar is going public via SPAC. Uh-oh. Apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio is an investor. I say uh-oh because in all of my recent readings on all of these EV companies, any company that's like about to or planning to go public, there's always some sort of SEC investigation shortly thereafter. I don't think that's going to happen with Polestar. They're actually a legit company. They have actual vehicles that people buy and drive. So I'm not too worried about that, but it's still, I'm still a little skittish in the EV realm whenever one of these companies is trying to go public. Like, a lot of these EV companies just seem like really elaborate pump and dumps. Polestar, the Swedish electric car company that is a joint venture between Volvo and Geely, is going public by merging with a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC, or SPAC. Polestar is the latest EV company and futuristic transportation company to go public via a reverse merger with the so-called blank check company. Yeah, that's what happened with, I think 3 of those companies I read about last time. I wish I could remember the names. I think Canoo was one of them. By merging with the company backed by billionaire and serial SPAC backer Alec Gores and investment bank Guggenheim Partners, Polestar says it will have an enterprise value of $20 billion. Are you kidding me? The deal will also net Polestar a lot of cash, $800 million from Gores Guggenheim's trust account, and $250 million in cash from private investment in public equity, PIPE financing, anchored by top-tier industrial or institutional investors, the company says. Those other investors include Volvo Car Group and affiliates of Geely chairman Eric Lee and actor and activist Leonardo DiCaprio, among others, Polestar says. It's the biggest blank check merger in EV sector since Lucid Motors struck a $24 billion deal in February. Lucid was another one of those companies that had an SEC investigation hot on their public IPO trail. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it wasn't Lucid. I know Canoo was one of them. No, these guys are with Churchill Capital. I think Canoo was the one because I think the company they went with was like Hennessy something or other. Okay, so these guys so far are clear of SEC investigations. The company was spun out of Volvo in 2016 and its performance sub-brand, but has since recast itself as an EV-only marquee. Polestar is jointly owned by, you know what? I've actually watched some videos of Polestar cars in action, and they look fucking sweet. I think Doug DeMuro had a video over the Polestar. This is the one I think I saw. Yeah, $150,000. It's pretty expensive. Not gonna watch this. Maybe not now. Maybe some other point in time. Polestar is the latest EV to go public by SPAC, joining the likes of Faraday Future. They're the other ones. Faraday was the ones that went under the SEC investigation. Lordstown Motor, they're under investigation, and Lucid. Not to mention Canoe, they're under investigation. Nikola, they're under investigation. Yes, Polestar is distinct from those companies, though, in that it has actually sold vehicles to customers. You see, Faraday and Lordstown have not sold anything to anybody, and neither has Lucid. They aren't under investigation yet, but that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's not too far off. The company is the latest in the growing line of EV startups, autonomous vehicles companies, and automotive suppliers to go public by merging with blank check, blah, blah, blah. There have been some noticeable flops. Lordstown, Canoe, and Nikola are among the EV companies that have hit some speed bumps after going public. There is a sense that in rushing to take advantage of the SPAC boom, these startups have been left to cope with the demands of being listed on a major stock exchange. Dude, it's just a pump and dump, man. Like, I can't remember which one of these companies, but like after going, I think it may have been Lordstown, like they went public and then immediately started selling off all their shares, and it's like, well, who's buying all these shares from a company that's not like selling anything, that doesn't have a product on the market? And why would you unload all your shares immediately if you aren't just like in some epic pump and dump scheme? You pumped it up, you managed to convince somebody to merge with you, you know, that IPO was your big pump, and then you dumped right after and got out of there. Like a lot of these CEOs and shit, like Faraday CEO, like resigned. Canoe, both of those guys resigned. It's like, yeah, I'm going to take my company public, and then the second after it's public, I'm going to resign. Like, that's how little faith I have in our ability to accomplish what we said we would. Polestar may have an easier time, though, thanks to its connections to major automakers like Volvo and Geely. I didn't even heard of Geely, or whatever you call it. The company says it's delivered about 10,000 vehicles last year and expects to sell about 290,000 vehicles per year by 2025, with plans to launch 3 new models by 2024. Post-merger, the combined company will be named Polestar Automotive Holding UK Ltd. And will trade under the symbol PSNY on the NASDAQ exchange. These cars are cool, but man, like all these EVs are just so fucking expensive. Workhorse, I'm confused about. I thought Workhorse was the name of the Lordstown truck. I thought, or like it was Workhorse and then Lordstown bought it or something. I don't know what Workhorse is if it's not Lordstown. Ohio-based electric vehicle startup Workhorse is suspending deliveries on its C1000 electric delivery vans and recalling 41 vehicles that have already been sent to customers, telling regulators the vans need, quote, additional testing and modifications in order to comply with federal safety standards. Oh boy. It was the latest setback for the company, which recently abandoned its effort to overturn the U.S. Postal Service's decision to let a different company build next-generation mail truck. That contract was awarded to defense manufacturer Oshkosh earlier this year. I think that's another story I have. And this is them dropping their lawsuit. Yeah, EV startup Workhorse has abandoned its lawsuit with the U.S. Postal Service decision to let Oshkosh, what is Oshkosh? Defense build the next-generation mail trucks. Why are they... Well, I guess it's just a function of reliability. Like, the U.S. Postal Service probably shouldn't be relying on some sketchy-ass EV startup to build out their fleet. I don't know what Oshkosh Defense has built before, but I mean, if these are MIC guys, they're Mike guys, Mike being military industrial complex. Is that what our mail trucks are going to start looking like? Good lord, light tactical vehicles, medium tactical vehicles, heavy tactical vehicles. I wish I could play that song on here. I can't stop thinking about it. Heavy tactical vehicles, heavy expanded mobility tactical truck, wheeled tanker. Palletized load system. So I'm assuming that these guys actually manufactured stuff that gets used in the field, and that's all the credibility they need to be able to build out a fleet of mail trucks. Alright, fair enough. I mean, Ford's probably not going to take that order. I wish it wasn't a mic company, though. The court accepted Workhorse voluntary dismissal late Tuesday, just one day after the first roll. Workhorse filed. So I guess what? I need to figure out what Workhorse is even. Workhorse Group CFO, COO exited. Oh. Said on Thursday, two of its top executives, including finance chief Steve Schrader, had left the company and that it had hired new people as part of management rejig to underpin its commercial goals. The changes signal Workhorse is undergoing a broader management shakeup after Richard Doc took the helm as its chief executive officer just last month. Greg Ackerson, the company's corporate controller, will take over as chief financial officer on an interim basis while the company looks for a permanent successor. Oh, okay. Workhorse is reportedly under a probe from U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Oh, God. You see? Like, I didn't even know Workhorse was separate from Lordstown, but I guess they are separate and also under SEC investigation. Unbelievable. Workhorse on Thursday said the departure of Schrader, who was CFO for less than 2 years, was not based on any disagreement with the company. Oh, man, this is unbelievable. Oh, it was founded by the former CEO of Workhorse. Damn. So they just spawned another SEC investigated. Oh, geez. Okay, so Workhorse is something different. They're based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and currently focused on electric powered vehicles. No point in me reading down this. I already know they're under an SEC investigation. Damn, and they lost this big contract with the U.S. government too. That's not what you want when you're an up and coming con artist. Speaking of Lordstown, Foxconn is buying Lordstown Motors' Ohio EV factory for $230 million. The struggling EV startup just found a way to survive. iPhone assembler Foxconn is buying an automotive factory from struggling EV startup Lordstown Motor for around $230 million, the companies announced late Thursday. Foxconn says it has agreed to build Lordstown Motors' electric pickup truck at the plant, which is where General Motors used to make the Chevrolet Cruze, and that the startup will remain a tenant there. Lordstown will also, quote, agree to provide Foxconn with certain rights and respect to future vehicle programs. What does that mean? The deal gives the Taiwanese conglomerate its first automotive factory and a significant new presence in the United States, one the company will use as it tries to establish itself as a global electric vehicle maker. Foxconn previously announced a massive LCD panel factory in Wisconsin, but has failed to live up to the myriad of promises it made to that state. Of course they did. Of course they did. As part of that deal, Foxconn is also buying $50 million worth of Lordstown Motors shares. The startup has recently admitted it needs to raise money quickly in order to survive, despite going public last year. News of the factory sale was first reported by Bloomberg early Thursday. Lordstown Motors bought the $6.2 million square foot factory from General Motors in 2019, shortly after the Detroit automaker closed it down, a decision that drew the ire of then President Trump. The startup previously announced Lordstown buying the facility drew the ire of Trump, or General Motors shutting down drew the I don't know what they're referring to there. The startup previously announced in August that it was planning to rent out space at the factory in an effort to make money amid a serious cash crunch. I just imagine like some dude just renting out like some space, like it's Jeff. Oh, don't worry about him. Like Steve Burns is like walking through the factory with his ridiculous helmet, like giving potential investors a tour of their manufacturing facilities, and he's talking about all the positive things that Lordstown Motor has going for it, the new change of direction, the new influx of cash they're getting from Foxconn. We have plotted out like a new. Him? Oh, that's just Jeff. Don't worry about him. Yeah, he just rents out that loft. You know, he's actually a cool guy if you get to know him. Like he's in a band. He plays at the local coffee shop every Friday and Saturday night. He's a cool guy. We just let him have his space over there. Free? No. He pays us rent. Thanks, Jeff. By the way, electrics due next week. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyways, we have a really good lineup coming out for our next models. Like, that's just what I came to my mind when they said that they're renting out their space. Since buying it, Lordstown owners has put $240 million into getting the you'll get $240 million worth of work into getting the factory ready to build its electric pickup truck, the Endurance. That's the first time I've heard of the name of their vehicle, the Endurance. And that's not to say that, I mean, that's just, me not going out of my way to figure out what the name of their truck was called. A spokesperson for Lordstown Motor declined to comment. When GM sold the factory to Lordstown Motor, Trump praised the... Okay, so he must have been critical of GM closing the facility. When GM sold the factory to Lordstown Motor, Trump praised the deal as great news for Ohio. Well, you know how Trump is. There's not a scam that he doesn't like to stick his fingers in. But the startup, which is founded by former CEO of Workhorse, another struggling EV startup, has run into an incredible amount of trouble ever since, despite going public and raising hundreds of millions of dollars in 2020. Lordstown Motor CEO was forced out earlier this year after he was caught lying about the veracity of the pre-orders of for its truck. The startup, so Steve Burns isn't even there anymore. The startup has lowered its initial production goals for that truck, too. Both the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission have launched probes on Lordstown Motor, and the company says it only has enough money to survive through mid-2022. Whew. I'm going to have to start seeking out some positive EV news, man. Like, is there any? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's some stuff out there. Rivian's going public. Who knows how far behind that SEC investigation is? But they actually seem like they know what they're doing, though. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked what I said, what Justin said, if you like the content we're providing, if you had any kind of laughs at all, even if you hate us, if you hate my guts, if you want to stab me, if you want to say all sorts of horrible things to me, cool. Like the video, subscribe. You'll get fed all sorts of shit you'll probably hate. And if you like us, you'll get fed all sorts of shit you probably like. So please and thank you.